So I'm just about to share with you a lesson I've just had with arguably the world's #1 coach, Pete Cowen. He shared with me something, a reason why so many golfers struggle to make consistent contact with their irons and struggle with the contact and the direction with their driver. He talks, or gave me basically, what he believes is the best way to rotate in the golf swing. Most golfers struggle with this, which is one of the reasons why they struggle with consistency with the irons and the driver. I can't wait to share it with you. It was absolutely brilliant. Let's come and have a look. So Pete, I'm back. So hopefully get some confirmation that I've been working on the right things. But I feel certainly in my iron play, the hands are starting to come back a little bit. I'm starting to save it a little bit. So it'd be great to kind of have a little recap on improving contact and the consistency of flight. And then maybe if you've got time, just have a quick look at the driver.
The new Elite driver.
The new Elite driver, yeah. I tested
LETE.
LETE, yeah. I was out on the course yesterday with the guys, and it was really, really good. I really enjoyed it. But I want to make sure I'm doing it justice.
Right.
All right.
Well, let's have a quick look.
Let's have a look. So the hands definitely felt like they were coming in there.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty typical.
Just hit something a little bit longer. I just want to have a look at your body action because that doesn't look that great at the moment.
Okay. A bit longer iron?
A bit longer iron, yeah.
So gone to a 6.
Decent there.
Yeah.
You can see straight away when I'm watching that, I've only watched 4 shots, but
Yeah.
you can see straight away that the body action isn't working consistently enough.
No, definitely. You
So
see
that's why you'll get manipulation. But the manipulation you'll see is really your forearm and your right wrist and your hand chasing through impact.
Absolutely.
There's got to be a reason for that.
Yeah.
So I always say to the kids, I said, right, if a car breaks down on the motorway, do you just change the oil, change the windscreen wipers and change the tyres? Yeah. No, you don't. Yeah. There's a problem in the engine, basically. Yeah. That's why it's broken down. Yeah. So you've got to sort that out. So when everybody has a lesson these days, a lot of the time it's changing the oil, changing the windscreen wiper. They're not really getting to the root of the problem. And the body action is obviously the key to it because it's the engine. Yeah. So you want your engine to work consistently. Yeah. Doesn't have to be perfect. Because we see a lot of different body actions in the top players, and they say, well, they still hit it, perfectly. Yeah, but you've got to remember, they are the best manipulators in the world, and their body action is more consistent. Yeah. So what do we mean about, getting the body action right? Well, it's a power source as well. So that's why we talk about the spiral staircase. Yeah. The movement from the ground up to the top is really important.
Do you want to come in and show us?
And obviously, when we're looking at a golf swing, we want the body action to be as consistent as possible, don't we? Yeah. So one of the ways for the average player to understand how we want consistent body action is to stand there with your feet together and create a movement into the feet where your feet are twisting one against the other. So your feet are doing that. Yeah. You're creating resistance in different directions. So my left foot's doing that, my right foot's doing that. Yeah. Yeah. And then my ankles are twisting, my knees are twisting, my hips are twisting, my abs are twisting, but I'm twisting up. Yeah. And I'm trying to go up at the same time.
As opposed to
just turning.
Just turning round and round. Yeah.
I'm pulling up.
Yeah.
So at the same time, I've got a 3-dimension. I've got it around and up. Yeah. And my arms are spiraling up with me. And then from there, I can slam my arms down and move and stay in balance. And my center is always going to be more consistent. Yeah. Yeah? Yeah. So what we're trying to do is create that consistency for everybody. Yeah. Yeah? Yeah. So obviously then we look at the body action and people talking about ground force reaction, things like that at the moment. Yeah. And I say, okay, right. To the kids, I said, does a horse pull a cart or does it push it? What do the kids answer?
That's a pull.
Yeah, it doesn't, it pushes it. Yeah. And they go, no, it doesn't, it pulls it. I said, well, where does it get its power from to pull the cart? It's stood stationary here with a harness on it. Yeah. So how does it get the power to pull the cart? It pushes the ground to push the chest against the harness to pull the cart. Yes. So it's almost an instantaneous movement. Yes. The push to pull.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
if I get
immediate pull.
a TheraBand against the wall in the gym, and I've got the TheraBand around my hand, am I pushing or am I pulling?
Pushing.
But I'm pulling at the same time. Yeah. So it's a push-pull.
Yeah.
So in the golf swing,
a push to create the pull.
Yeah, to create the power, and it's almost, you can't almost see it.
Yeah.
So in the golf swing, what we're trying to create is we're trying to create a push and a pull to get the body working in this direction, not in this. Because if I just turn, I lose the connection with the ground, and that's why we call it the spiral. And you push and you pull, and you're working around your center, and your abs are working, your chest is working this way all the time.
And you can see
that's how you get behind the ball properly. You get behind the ball in this way, not this way.
Yes.
Yeah. So you get behind the ball, and everybody can do it to their own ability.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some people can't do it as much as others because they're not as mobile, or they're not, they can't stretch as much. But obviously, what we're trying to achieve is a push and a pull, which is going to, like martial arts, push and pull, push and pull, push and pull. Yeah. So I'm pushing at the same time. You can't see it, but I'm pushing that way, and I'm pulling with the hip, right? I'm pushing and pulling. Yeah. I've got that.
Yeah.
And I'm coiling up at the same time.
Yeah.
And then from there, what I'm happening now is I'm pushing that back as I'm holding this millisecond. These are all exercises you do. You can't think about it in the golf.
No.
So you push, and then you pull with the glute and your hip.
Yeah.
And then what you'll see is you'll always be planted in that left foot. And that left foot, I need it to be at least 10, 15 degrees out with the knee pointing in the same direction to give you the feeling that you're pushing against and pulling.
Yeah.
So you get that. And then from there, you'll get what Sneed used to call his squat.
Yeah.
So from here, I resist here, I push, I get the squat.
Yeah.
But everybody tries to get the squat by.
Yeah, I've seen that so many times. Yeah. So how would one go about working on this?
Well, there's exercises you do, and I like to see these aiming sticks are quite useful.
Right.
Yeah. But they're useful not only for aiming, but to give you the feeling of resistance in your legs. So what I do is I put the spiral in behind the knee, up the thigh, and then from there I'm pushing as I'm pulling. So I'm loading this stick. Can you see how it's loaded?
Yeah.
And then from there I'm holding this as I'm pushing back. So I'm doubling the load. So
if you push back here, you've left that alone, that's creating even more flex in that stick, which is obviously going to create more snap.
Yeah. And then from there, I do all the work with the pull. Yeah. The glute and the quad.
So you're pushing this, and then have you got the pull here?
Yeah, absolutely. Now I'm pulling it, it's almost identical, pulling it through to the finish.
So you've got the push here.
Yeah, but you're pushing again down, so your body action isn't as good as it should be.
Right. That's why I'm here.
You need these exercises to get that.
Yeah.
And what that does is, as you're pushing back and holding, your arms have got a room for them to get in position.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're not pulling all the way through with just the hip area, which your arms are then going to go away from you. As your arms are going to go away from you, your club's going to drop behind, and you're going to have to manipulate.
Flip it, and that's kind of what it feels like.
And then when we see players manipulating, we know that the chases happen from the forearm and the shoulder, and that's why I talked about spiraling the arm down. Yeah, turning the arm down properly, then we get that movement. But it obviously helps enormously if you've got good body action.
Yeah, because if the body's moving all over, almost the hands are doing you a favour.
You're in trouble. Yeah. But you've got to remember, most people are practicing that all the time. Yeah. Manipulation. So they have a great session manipulating, and I know when I come to my range here in Dubai and at home in Rotherham, Sheffield, they come and say, I've got it.
Great
academy, great facility, new facility, great. So when they come, they'll say, all right today, yeah, I found it today. I said, you'll have lost it by tomorrow. And they come back, he's right, I lost it.
That's so true.
So there's no consistency. So that's what I'm saying about the body action. It doesn't have to be perfect.
Yep.
It has to be consistent.
Okay.
And you can then match whatever you want, because there's only one common denominator I've seen with all great players when they're playing well. Yeah. And they all do it slightly differently. The one common denominator is they all get it in the correct delivery position relative to the shot they're trying to do. So I'm moving this club into the position where I want to play the shot. Yeah. I'm moving it into position and holding position.
And you can see here how you've just beautifully looked after that centre as well.
Yeah, but it's still working behind in this way.
Yeah.
So that's where you get a lot of the power. And then we start understanding ground force reaction, because I know when Paddy Harrington actually does his, you know, speed drills, he runs and stamps his ground, so he pushes to pull as hard as he can.
Which
so
is why
he doesn't. He's getting out of the way. He's pushing to a pull, and he doesn't push with that foot square because he's going to hurt his knee and his hip. So he pushes down with that foot open, so the knee can open, the hip can open, and then fire through. So we've got to get the body action right. So you get this, and I'll show you whether you're getting the leg action right, which is the main part of the body action. Right. So you get it. You stand, set up that. That's it. Now, so I want you to go push and pull.
So push this way.
That's it. And pull up. That's it. Pull up. But hold this position. That's it. Got it? Now you're loading. Can you feel the load? Now hold that. Push. Push. That's it. That's it. Now you pull with your left glute.
And then that.
And then you stretch, rotate. That's it. So you stretch, rotate from the hip. And depending on what shot you want, you can stretch and obviously spiral up, which will give you a much higher flight, particularly with the driver, or you can just pull and just get your body covering it, which is going to control your ball flight.
So this is the fit's almost just there.
That's it. That's it.
And then from there, leave that alone.
Leave it alone. Just
I'm going to push
this back where it came.
There.
No.
Oh no!
You're locking me out, and I'm saying no. You push into the. Actually push into the foot. That's it. You feel it? Got it? Now that's better.
So
I really starts working.
I really feel my foot then is rather than just doing this. Really feels like it's pushing.
And the stretch happens later. Push back and hold, and then now you stretch.
I really feel stretch there.
And then you don't start working. That's it.
That's a lovely feeling.
Well, you can't think about it during a golf swing.
No.
So you've got to have done a lot of the work. And then people have said to me, well, you just look as though you could do it stood on your head. And I said, well, I've practiced it. So here, got my setup, here in position. So I'm pushing and pulling. You see how I'm loading that? I'm really loading. I'm doubling the load. And that's where you get the old Sam C stretch. And then from there, I'm pulling through as hard as I can. So it's an almost instantaneous pull and push. So I'm pushing to pull.
Such a great visual. And again, something that anybody can do at home.
As I said, you know, if you stand here and do this and just, you know, twist that foot that way and that foot that way as you're starting, and then twist against it, you can feel the resistance in your feet. You feel that? And you're pulling up at the same time. You're pulling up, and you get your arms up. That's it. Try and stay level while you're doing this exercise, and then slam them down and move to the finish. Then go to the finish. Balance. That's it. That's it. You've done it. So you've got that pull push in this simplest way. So from here, you're pushing down now as you're pulling through. Correct.
So I've done this before, but not like that. That was completely different. That really felt as I was using the ground. Everything's coming.
Correct.
Down.
Correct. See, that's more important with the driver.
Really?
Well,
why?
Because from there, you can then open up this area where you're stretching up as you are turning. You're stretching up as you're turning. So club's not behind you stretching. You're stretching up with a turn. So now the right arm is much more stable to the finish.
So how would I, if I was going to start hitting some shots now, how would I start hitting shots?
You'd do it as a mini shot. You do like this here. And we're still using the equal and opposite in the grip. So you're squeezing the grip. So from here, I'm equal and opposite. So I've still got that left foot out, that left knee. So I can actually feel now, even a mini shot, I've got the push and the pull. So as I'm hitting this, I'm pushing and pulling at the same time. So the club's going back on perfect plane.
And so when you said pushing and pulling,
I'm pushing. As I'm pulling with the hip.
So you're pushing here and you're pulling with this hip.
But I'm pulling not up. I'm pulling it behind me.
That's what it feels.
I get behind me. That's it.
There,
So now as I'm here, I'm pushing, and then I'm pushing and pulling. So from here, I can keep the stability. So even a mini shot, I've got I'm here. You can't see it, but my feet are working hard and pull, push.
So the one feeling that I'm struggling a little bit, this I find really simple. I can feel that. This is the one I can't quite feel yet.
Well, have a look where it came from.
Okay.
When you set up, have a look where the knee is. So now you're trying to create a pressure in between your legs now on the
Like that?
backswing. On the backswing. So you're pushing this foot this way almost as you're pulling against.
Just that way.
That's it. It will still come in.
Yes.
But it won't actually collapse in. It'll still feel the power in the foot.
So then from there, then
you just turn it back. No, you're still working your hips too hard. So everybody works their hips too. Just push it back. Got it?
Yes. So
push it back
there.
as you're pulling through. That's it.
There.
Then that's it. Now you've got it.
There.
That's it. Now, then you pull through with the hip and that's it. Now you've got it. Now you can decide what your upper body wants to do to hit your shot because you're behind the ball turning.
It just feels like that. Okay, there.
That's it. So you're training it.
Yeah.
You're training it. You've trained it to do the wrong thing. You might as well train it to do the right thing. Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Feels.
It's actually quite a simple movement.
It really is.
And it's actually quite natural. But what you will notice is your glute and your quad will be aching. Whereas I could have said to you, hit me 100 balls there, Danny, and tomorrow you wouldn't feel the quad or your glute.
Yeah.
But if you do this 100 balls and really work it, tomorrow your glute will be burning and your quad will. So you've actually trained the muscle structure in the correct way.
Yeah. So you'd start off here, hitting a few, just how long distance-wise would you say?
Well, you're just building up, aren't you? So once you've built up to that, this pitch, you're going, right, from here I'm just going push, and I'm going push, pull.
Yep.
And then I'm going push, pull through, yeah? And you can see how that arm now is going left correctly.
Naturally.
Yeah.
Yep.
With the body turn.
Yep.
So I'm going push and pull, and I'm going boop. So you can see they've started on exactly the same line, those two.
Top officially, yeah.
Then I've got the three most important things in golf. Start the ball on line with the correct flight and correct spin.
Which those
and when you can do that,
exist.
Go and chip and putt.
Yeah, and those two there were absolutely like almost identical.
Yeah. Because I've got a consistent body movement, which gives me a more consistent arm, hand, and club movement.
Okay.
If I've got an inconsistent body movement, you've got to manipulate. You've got no option.
Yeah.
You've got no option.
And what's interesting with me going through that motion there, I realised that actually you've almost got to do it so slowly to start with, haven't you?
But when I teach some players, I'll get them to stand like this, and I'll say, understand that's push in there, and this is pull in here, and then push it back. But they all go this way.
Like I did, yeah.
They all go that way.
Yeah.
And I said, no, you push it back where it came from. Now, fire it.
Yes.
And then you can start getting some real speed.
Yeah.
Just using the ground better.
Yeah.
If you were on ice, you wouldn't be able to do that.
No, exactly.
It's the same with the horse and cart. If the horse was on ice, the cart wouldn't move.
No. No matter how we tried to pull it. Yeah. Great. Cool.
So it's all pretty simple stuff. Yeah. So I'd just like to see you hit a little chip like that and feel this exactly the same. So set up.
Yeah.
Right from here.
Yep.
Okay. Feel the feet. Get ready with the feet. Yeah.
I really feel like I'm kind of like
you're ready. Yeah. So that foot's grabbing. That toes are just grabbing.
Yeah.
Well, it's an exercise. You're practicing.
Yeah.
So you go push and pull.
Yeah.
Go with me. Yeah. Go. And then from there, push and pull through. That's it. Got it?
Yep. So it's like.
Yeah. It'll look a lot more natural after you've done it.
Yeah.
It looks unnatural at the moment, but it'll look a lot more natural when you've done it, for a month or two.
Yeah.
Push, pull. Correct. Now your arms felt folded differently to those first dozen shots you've hit.
Yeah.
Because there was no need.
And that's the first shot where I didn't feel there was that.
But you're doing it through your body motion, not through stopping your hands working.
Yeah,
because everybody says, stop your hands rotating. Well, you'll miss the ball.
Yeah. My hands are actually helping me out.
Well, they're helping you out.
Yeah,
and that's what I say about the best players in the world.
Yeah.
They're the best manipulators as well as being the best players.
Yes.
They're the best manipulators.
Yeah.
Plus the fact that they've got probably a more consistent body action than, the average player.
Yeah.
Consistency, the key. Doesn't have to be perfect, it has to be consistent. That's it. Push, pull, and then push, pull to finish. Correct. Now you finish left foot planted.
Yeah, very stable.
Yeah.
Yeah. It feels actually that.
And what's the divot like?
Shallow.
Steep to shallow. Steep to shallow.
Yeah.
Like I said, get the right delivery position.
If you'd have seen me over there, I'm taking like wedges out.
Yeah, because if you move this way,
yeah,
what are you going to do with your low point?
It's just
miles, it's going to well ahead the
miles
the ball.
forward. Yeah. Whereas this one, it's like I'm in position and you're bringing the club out of the ground almost.
Yeah.
And like you said, Peter, I think it's unbelievably simple actually. I mean, don't get me wrong.
All the best things are simple.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, with what's happening now, especially on the internet, the people talking about ground force reaction and doing this and doing that, if you don't understand what ground force reaction means in its simplest form, you're going to get lost.
Definitely, yeah.
Because you can go on all the machines that we've got in the academy there, and they'll tell you what's happening, but they won't tell you how to do it.
No.
I'm telling you how to do it.
Yeah.
And then you go on there and you'll get the right numbers.
Yeah. I mean, I think the thing about this is, I think, although incredibly simple, and it really, really is simple, I think one thing I'd love to encourage people to do is realize that it's very simple, yes, but you're still going to have to practice.
Probably you've got to practice.
Develop this feel. But
the practice is, if you're not prepared to do 10 minutes a day, just standing there while you're doing nothing and going, get an aiming stick, put it down, or even a shaft. I do it with shafts. I mean, if you watch me do it now with this shaft, I actually feel as though I can snap the shaft.
Right, okay.
So from here, as I'm doing this, so now I'm pushing and pulling, and that shaft, can you see it bending?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes, yeah.
I feel as though if I worked harder, I could snap that shaft.
Right. Yeah.
So I know I'm getting the proper ground.
So you know that you're getting that kind of force into the ground there.
Yeah,
it's not
and
just
then
kind
I can stretch up.
Like I was doing earlier, it's not this.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not that.
Exactly. You're not in control of it.
No, exactly.
No, you're not.
Yeah. So driver, ball position, left heel?
Yeah, well, as I said, it depends. If you want it to go a little bit higher, maybe on the instep.
Yeah. So there?
Yeah. So just move it a little bit. I mean, when you flatten the flight, I like it just inside the heel.
Yeah.
Flatten it. So as I'm pulling through with my glute and my hip, I can flatten it so much easier when the ball is back a little bit.
Okay, yeah. So rather than have it up here where potentially you might be doing this way, you're more on it. Yeah,
well, see, I would, because when I do that pull-push, so from here I'm going, push-pull.
Yep.
So now, because I've done the exercise, as I wind it up here, and I push it back, and I pull through, now my spine's in the right place to get it going up there.
Yes.
Or I can go, wind it up, and I pull, and I let this left shoulder flatten a little bit, and I'm going through the ball a lot flatter and drive the ball
just
a lot
for those watching, flattening, you're basically keeping it lower.
Yeah, and the distance between here and here is what dictates whether the body hits. So if I get the distance between here and here more consistent as I'm turning, there.
Yep, that's a flat flight.
That's a flatter flight. If I get it more stretched up, that gives me the deceleration, acceleration.
Yeah.
So I'm positioning my body through, and the club through my proper leg movement.
Yeah. And we were with Xander in California a couple months ago, and he was saying that one of the things that he did for when he wants to launch it up is exactly what you just said, actually. He said he doesn't like to have this. No. He likes to just go.
Yeah, well, the distance there and there is wider.
Wider, which gives him that.
Correct.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Come on, I'll work a couple of shots with this.
Go on then.
The elite.
Go on, work that body a little bit better. Feel that you've got control of that lower body. And then push and then pull through as hard as you can and give it the works. That's good because it was driven. Yeah. So much flatter.
Yep.
Through the impact area, which is why you've took it off the top of the tee.
Yeah.
And which is, more Norman, leave the tee in the ground for 100 shots.
I've never been compared to more Norman, Pete.
Leave the tee in the ground.
Leave the tee in the ground.
Work it. Wind it up with a push and a pull and push back.
Not that time.
So you've spun the hip, so your hip movement then, from here, it didn't go back to position, it just spun out of it.
And I felt it,
yes. So, it's all right saying your club was behind you, but why was it behind you? Exactly.
Yeah.
So your body action's poor.
Poor. And then you get to that stage where you go, oh, I need to wait for it to,
Yeah, stop the body working so hard.
Yeah.
Well, if you stop the body working hard, all you've got is a slow, poor swing.
Yeah. So that's where you're going to lose distance from there. Yeah.
Strong in the setup and really feel that wind up now. And then just pull through. Once you've pushed back to the left knee, pull through and go. That's it, proper hit. Left the tee in the ground as well is more, so there's more consistency already.
Yeah. Just feels like it just feels like I'm not even, it feels like I've got more movement. Yeah, I'm right over.
Well, you feel as though you're on top of the ball.
It's a lovely feeling actually. Feels like a more.
Well, but if you shift off it.
Oh, screwed.
Well, that's what everybody, oh, you need to transfer your weight.
Yeah.
What am I doing here?
Yeah.
I'm transferring my weight.
Yeah.
As hard as I can.
Yeah.
Transferring it back through.
So I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. Huge thanks for Pete for hosting me at his brand new state-of-the-art facility at the Emirates Club in Dubai. If you enjoyed this video, share it with a friend. And look, if you want to see more videos with me and Pete, check these 2 videos out right here. I've also put a free practice plan. I'll pin that in the top comments so that it's going to help you implement everything we've done in this video. And of course, look, if you're new to the channel, press that subscribe button right here. But until next week, have a wonderful golfing week.